Hey.
All right. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the Wednesday Night Oasis. You are here with the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, and this is the Wednesday Night Oasis. As you might already know, Wednesday Night Oasis is a place where we come together to experience community and be spiritually uplifted between Sundays. And most Wednesday nights, the service builds upon the theme of the previous Sunday, sharing in a satsang style, which can sometimes include more sharing and more interaction with individuals. Although tonight it might be a little bit different. So I want you to be ready for a Wednesday night oasis that will be informal, intimate, and not so interactive tonight, but that's okay too. So last Sunday, Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman introduced the ideas inspired by the talk title, Vulnerability, Cracks, and Canyons. And tonight, practitioner Regina Buckwalter will continue the exploration of this same topic. It should be interesting.
Yeah.
Annual theme for this year, 2023, is Living Out Loud. And our monthly theme for April is the power of vulnerability. And that is definitely what we're exploring. This month is also abundant with religious rituals and history. We're still in Ramadan, as far as I know. We've experienced Passover and Easter. These are all falling within this month of April. And in addition, this is Arab American Heritage Month.
Oh,
So I encourage you to check out the Village News for some links to learn more about the common patriarchal origins of all of these events. It's good to know our religious histories. So at this moment, I want to see if there are any new faces that I haven't seen before. Right now, I'm not seeing anybody, but I do want to welcome you. If you're watching this recording and you're new to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, you are welcome here. And you are invited to navigate yourself to our webpage, www.oaklandcsl.org. And when you go there, you can see an I'm new icon. When you click on that, you'll be given an opportunity to give us your email address. And once you do, you'll be receiving once a week the Village newsletter. And in it, it has all the information about what's going on at the center in the coming weeks. So before we get started and I introduce our speaker, I want to go over some housekeeping notes. During the talk, it's okay if you keep your video on, but please mute your audio or your microphone so that there is no disruption in the recordings that we get. And I invite you to stay tuned all the way to the end of service for some special and important announcements. All right, so as we go on this evening, our speaker this evening is Regina Buckwalter, and she is a practitioner serving at the Oakland Center. Now, she is almost an emeritus practitioner, so that means that she has been serving this center for almost 20 years, and she has served us well. So, as we do before every organized event at the center, we begin with prayer. And I'm inviting Regina to do the honors this evening before her talk. Come on, Regina.
okay, here I am. Thank you, Sally. So let's take just a minute or two to just get centered and feel our feet. Everything starts at the root. Everything starts as we touch the earth. Relax and feel calm. And know that we are absolutely safe, we are calm, we are supported always. Because we know and we believe and we feel in this oneness with God. God is good. and all things that are unfolding are always happening for the most highest good within us all. As we drop in, as I drop in with a breath, dropping in, feeling the inside, feeling the beautiful center channel, feeling the river, feeling the spiritual center that is always moving through us. It is the river of life that gives health and vitality to the very essence of our body, our spirit, our mind. Who we are is always nourished by that river of life. And that river of life is indeed the beautiful presence of life, light, harmony, peace, authenticity. It is vulnerability. And I celebrate this evening. I celebrate and absolutely have great gratitude for everybody that has shown up on this call, willing to receive the message of the evening, knowing that the words are absolutely perfect as they are delivered, and they will touch the minds and hearts of us all with clarity, groundedness, and openness. And so it is. Amen. Wow. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank Reverend Sunshine Michelle for the invitation to come and speak about a topic that is absolutely near and dear to my heart, to my life, as it has the spiritual direction of how my life has unfolded and that which I have pursued. Thank you for extending the invitation. And thank you all for coming here to hear what I have to say. As vulnerability has been the absolute deep organizing principle of everything that I have investigated and explored and seek to embody in my life from a very early age. In some ways, it has been my spiritual assignment to find out and embody and feel and have accessibility in a very sustainable way, what love feels like in my life. At a young age of 19, I left a very chaotic, harsh, and dysfunctional family life to figure out and understand and come to embody and embrace love, as I did not live in a family life where love was accessible to me. And of course, that was my lesson that I took on, and I truly believe that. As a young Catholic girl, to find refuge, I would go to church. It was a place of peace and comfort and quiet for me. And given that my parents were Catholic, I got permission to do that, to get away from all of my obligations and tasks and child rearing, to go to church. And I did everything possible. I did the 40 hours, the Advent, the Lent, the Stations of the Cross, the first Friday, the first Saturday. I was there always. And I developed a very close contact with God. God was my companion in life. I could go there and I would talk and I would pray. And most unfortunately, my prayers were never answered. But that was for me to learn spirituality and God and my relationship with God, the God outside. That relationship was for me to learn. So my prayers weren't answered, but nevertheless, God was my companion and always there for me. So lately in my journey, I had this revelation that I had my relationship with God on one side, okay, and my journey for love on the other side. And who would know they came together? They absolutely came together as I have a bird's eye view of my life. It's like, wow, this is very perfect. As we all learn at some point, I think, that everything is divinely orchestrated and everything comes together. And that's some of what I want to talk about tonight, is spirit and love. That is vulnerability coming together in our bodies, in our center. And it is love that is always emerging and always available to us. So in realizing that, it's almost like the veil was lifted. And I had this big aha experience of the confluence of spirit and love coming together and creating this beautiful, beautiful spiritual center through me. And that spiritual center flows with love. And that, my dear friends, is what vulnerability is. It is love and spirit coming together and living on the inside. I believe that to live a life embracing the power of vulnerability is to live a life on the inside. It is that part of us that is under the story. It is under our analysis. It is under our insight. It is under the meaning that we give everything. It is under everything that we read, everything that we think about. Living on the inside is living in the world of sensation and feeling our feelings as they arise. Now, I believe that we're always vulnerable. There is never a minute that we're not vulnerable. Because to be vulnerable is to feel the truth of who we are. It is the truth of who we are. To be vulnerable is to feel our life, to feel our feelings. Vulnerability is a person's willingness to risk being open to love and being loved. It's that gentle softness inside of us that's always there. Remember, as if I have to remind you, I'm just saying this for myself. God is love. We are love. We, when we tune into that which is arising on the inside, we are always vulnerable. Now, this life force of love that is moving through us is the river of life. That river is always flowing as we breathe and as our heart beats. Our cells are always dancing and moving and radiating some sensation and some feeling. So we can do a little experiment right now. And this is something that I do throughout the day myself. When I find myself caught up in thinking, analyzing, thinking about what I need to do next and next and next and next. Okay, I stop. And we can do this right now. Let us stop and feel. Let us pause for a minute, wherever we are, and feel. And now let that feeling expand, whatever it is. If we are feeling a contraction somewhere, let it soften. It is so immediate. We can feel the vulnerability. We can feel the love. Anytime. It's always there. It's always there. As we feel into the love, this thing we call armor, and it is very, it's a word used in bodywork circles, body armor. Okay, it's been around for decades. Okay, I've been part of this movement of body embodiment and body armor and releasing body armor and changing posture, change your life. Okay, that's the world I live in. It's not just changing your thoughts, it's changing your body, change your life, because our posture is a reflection of our thoughts. Okay, and that's the world that I live in. So as we pause and feel and expand, we are softening the body armor, and we are allowing the river of life to flow through us. This is something I obviously get very passionate about, because I believe in this stuff, and I know this is all, it is in some ways very simple, but it's not always easy. And that's something that I say to my clients. And even my husband even says, yes, you always say it's very simple, but it's not easy. Okay. So now I'm going to read one of my favorite Brene Brown quotes. And I think we all have our favorites here and there. Brene Brown is absolutely brilliant. And for a while back, I think 7 years ago or so, when she first came out with her book, I was truly worshiping at the altar of Brene Brown, because she's downright brilliant. And I would drive around listening to her CDs. I must have listened to them at least 3 or 4 times. And I love her voice, and I love her story, and I love her sense of humor. So anyhow, I have a quote, and I just love this quote because it really kind of overlaps on what we believe in science of mind. Okay. And she says, vulnerability is a birthplace of love, bringing joy, courage, and creativity and belonging. It is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. Just a little insert. I don't believe that we can be authentic unless we are vulnerable. She didn't say that, but that's what I believe. If we want greater clarity in our purpose, or deeper and more meaningful lives, vulnerability is the path. Now, I say it kind of dovetails with science of mind, because that what she mentions are spiritual principles. So I love how this stuff all comes together. It's very exciting to me when my practices overlap and they support one another. It is a place of excitement for me and inspiration. Love, belonging, joy, courage, creativity, they're all principles. So if we are living with vulnerability, which is what we are feeling at the moment, which is love, which is also love, okay? We are living in our spiritual center. We are living on the inside. Now, there is a place where I disagree with Brene Brown. And it's not a big disagreement. Okay? It's not a huge disagreement. Brene Brown talks about the courage. It takes courage to be vulnerable. I believe that before courage, it takes commitment. And if we have commitment to love, if we have commitment to organize ourselves around living in our spiritual center. If we have a commitment to being one with spirit, and if we truly walk our talk, it is commitment and courage will follow. And I know this is true. It has been true for me. It's absolutely my truth. It's a commitment to feel and live inside instead of referencing our lives through the mental constructs of our stories, our analysis, our perceptions, our assumptions, our insight, our laundry list, our rules. If we just commit to dropping in that simple little practice, stop, feel, and expand. And I do this throughout the day simply because it feels good. I want to feel good, and God is good. We say God is good. Oh, I know God is good because I do my best to get out of my mind, to get out of my stories, get out of my analysis, to get out of my observations as if my life is a petri dish. I just want to feel my life. I want to feel the truth of who I am. I want to feel love. And I'll be walking on my hiking trail, and sometimes my mind will be analyzing, and sometimes I was like putting this talk together, and I go, wait a minute, Regina, can you just stop and feel and drop in? And I do this as a regular practice because I want to live on the inside and I want to feel good. And it's the only way for me to get there, is to get out of my mind, get out of my stories, get out of my analysis. And Lord knows I can analyze anything because I have studied so many paradigms to shift my life into, whether it's the Enneagram or astrology or elements or whatever. I can take my life apart and analyze it. And the truth is, it doesn't make me feel good. It just makes me feel smart. So do I want to feel smart, or do I want to feel good? And I think the choice is easy for me. And I want to encourage you to usurp your life back and live on the inside. That is vulnerability. So I want to read a Rumi quote. Ta-da! Had to get a Rumi quote in here. I think I need a Rumi quote right now. Okay. To really support what I'm saying. And I love Rumi. He says, your task is not to seek for love. Oh my God. However, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And yet, when you stop, pause, feel, and expand, you are actually softening the barriers and moving into love. I just love that quote because it also encourages us to release the body armor. And as we soften and feel and expand, we are releasing our body armor and coming into the truth of who we are. Ah, wow. I need to take a breath. Wow, this is a lot. That's a lot. And I'm very passionate about the unwinding process of moving more into the inside, the living on the inside. Okay, so now I was thinking, or I get these downloads on my hiking trails. It's like, okay, Spirit, give me a download. I don't know what the heck I'm going to say. And then it comes. So maybe vulnerability is not about risk-taking. It's not about these grandiose random opportunities we're smack up against in the arena. And yet it is about being in the arena. Because when we're in the arena, we're really into the sensations that are emerging. Maybe vulnerability is not about risk-taking, strategizing, planning, reacting, telling somebody the truth of who they are as we see them, having that uncomfortable conversation, going face to face in conflict. Maybe it's not even the bucket list. Maybe it's not the scripts. I believe that since we are always vulnerable, since the river is always flowing, it never stops. Maybe it's about that which is emerging moment by moment. It's the momentum that is emerging from within. And it's listening to that spiritual nudge, that quiet, gentle voice, where we know this is the next thing for us. And we might even get a little scared. We go, oh my God, no, not this. But the nudge and the voice never lets us go until we surrender and feel and move forward. The voice whispers lovingly, and it is the authentic expression of our truth, bubbling up. It is the bubbling up. It is the emergence. It is that voice that comes in. It is the voice that cannot be denied. And we know it is true, and we feel it. And we go, oh my God, that. And it says, oh yes, come on, this is your next step. This is where we're going to go here. And then we move into the arena. That, I believe, is the arena experience. And we move into it with strength and commitment to our purpose to love. We are in the arena because we are committed to feel even more love. And I believe that. And we become curious about the sensation that is emerging. And it goes, sometimes it is what I call the yucky stuff. It's like, I don't want to go there. This feels really yucky. And so my mind may want to label it fear or anxiety or anger. Our mind labels emotions to make up a story. If we stay with the sensation, we'll move into the sensation and we will feel it without a story that is on top of what I call the yucky stuff. And I have an example. When I decided to go to Egypt, I decided back in November, and I got the nudge, you're going to Egypt, and I go, oh, wow. So I got excited. But then I made the commitment, and then the excitement or the expansion turned into a lot of sensation in my solar plexus that would just kind of move through me every single morning. And I had two voices, one that says, what the heck are you doing? You're going to Egypt. You know that's going to be hard. And the other voice says, we're going. Clear, simple, we're going. And then I scrambled every morning. Egypt, this is going to be hard. You're going. And so I stayed with the sensation and moved through my body. And almost every morning I had a rocky road, but I stayed with it. I breathed it. I brought love into it. I got curious. What does this feel like? And it started to move through me. Every morning I would wake up, and by the time my feet hit the floor, I was feeling good. Now, the yucky stuff, I do believe, is love. It's all energy. Everything is energy, and we believe that. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's all energy. The yucky stuff and love are the same, only the yucky stuff is pockets of congestion. It's like black tarry pockets in our body that just want to be loved and comforted and brought into the mix so the river can flow and move through us more easily. I believe if we call fear, anger, sadness, the negative emotions, okay, and joy, peace, comfort, tranquility, abundance, the good ones, then we are actually living in a dualistic world. If we get that everything, that energy is love, wanting to be moved and transmuted, we are living in the state of oneness where everything is energy, and that energy is love. Yep. That energy is love. And we are the river. And we're here to move that yucky stuff. And the only way to move that yucky stuff is to feel it and get curious with it and engage with it and to comfort ourselves when we are feeling it. So we are safe to move it through and breathe through it. And just love. Just love. The yucky stuff is love, waiting to be included, waiting to be transmuted and loved. It's all sensation. It's sensation. And we're here to feel and love. It's really pretty simple. It's pretty darn simple. And I love the simplicity. It's all love. So clearly I get quite passionate about it because this has been my life's journey. And I feel that love is indeed sustainable for all of us. So, okay. So let us have a little exploration here because I talk about coming into this embodiment thing. And it's a beautiful little process, and it was initiated with my meditation. Okay. We have 3 major centers in our body, in our spiritual center. They are 3 amazing centers filled with beautiful vibrations of ecstasy and peace and empowerment and joy, abundance. Incredible. And the Egyptians, where consciousness landed for mankind, that is the consciousness of Egypt, they believed in these 3 centers. And they said that our consciousness cannot move through us unless we live in these 3 centers. So, the first center. And if you choose to, you can just close your eyes and inhabit. Let's come back to the belly. And just feel the belly. The belly is the center of support. And if we understand the gifts and the blessings of these 3 centers, we will want to go here. They are my friends. I know where to go. I know where to go to feel various vibrations. And this is no secret, but we're going to talk about it, or at least feel it for right now. The belly center is also called the belly brain. And believe it or not, in the quantum field, the vibrations that come pouring into us as being spiritual beings in a physical body, it is the belly that receives the messages first. It is the belly brain. It is the divine feminine. It is our root. It is where we feel safe. It is where we are comfortable. It is where we feel included, where we belong, where we have our feet on the ground, and everything is dependent in our lives on how grounded we are. It's where we are rooted is where the sprouts come up. It is a feeling, it is a space of wisdom. Wisdom is in the belly, not the higher center, not up here. Wisdom is in the belly, the divine feminine, the nurturing, the moisture, the ease, the comfort, the cozy place, the nest, where we feel cozy and comfy. The next center is the heart center. And the heart is where we connect, where we love, where we feel acceptance, where we just cuddle ourselves and comfort ourselves and say, yes, Regina, it is all okay. You will be okay. You are okay. You are loved. You're absolutely loved. There is no separation. You're loved. You're welcome. You're okay. It's going to be okay. And a lot of times that's all we ever want to hear during the day is that we are okay. We will be okay. We are loved. We're not alone. We're not abandoned. We're okay. We're accepted. The next center are the eyes and the higher brain centers. Now, how it comes together is that we get messages in our belly, our gut feelings. Yes, the mama, the mother. We're safe. We get the messages from the quantum field in our belly first, the belly brain. They're studying this. The vagus nerve is very trendy topic, and it is the belly brain. The vagus nerve goes into the belly. We get the messages in the belly, moves up into our heart. Our heart's desire is revealed. And the brain goes, okay, God, I have a vision. I know how we can work this one out. Yes. Okay. Lots of illumination. They come from the belly, heart's desire in the brain. So this river is very rich and filled with many blessings and filled with many vibrations. We just need to live there on the inside and say yes to that which is percolating on the inside. So, wow, that was a lot. Okay. So we may be able to eke in a little bit of sharing here, and that might be just lovely. But I think you got my message. The river is inside. We choose to live on the inside because it feels good. It's a yummy, blissful place to live. We're here to feel our lives and to love. Pretty simple. It's not complicated. It's easy. No, it's not easy. It's simple, but maybe not easy. Okay, so if we can switch gears here a little bit and maybe have a little bit of sharing or maybe comments, however you want to go with this, we have some time.
All right, Regina, thank you.
So I have a question here. Thank you, Sally, for hanging in there.
Yeah.
The first question that we may drop a pebble into the river is, what emotion is the most difficult to feel? And each one of us have one that is like, no, the mind says, going to clamp that one down, can't go there. Okay. Now, in my world, I was an angry little girl. I had no problem with anger. Okay. And I'm one of those persons that could get in your face and just kind of like get pretty mean. I choose not to do that. It's not healthy for me. It's not good for relationships. Okay. But I had no difficulty with anger. In my home life, anger was normalized. It was chaotic and abusive and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I never cried. I never ever cried. I had the clamps on that one. So for me to open up, to feel love, I had to be willing to experience the quiver of vulnerability and sadness. Okay. Fear, I'm realizing I was very anxious as a child. So I think I had the anxiety, but I never labeled it fear. Okay. So if people want to share, what is the emotion that is most difficult to feel? Second question to consider, how do you stop the flow or expression of it when it arises? And imagine if you allowed yourself to feel that emotion, what would that be like for you? What is the gift? What would that experience be like? So we have a little bit of time to share. So if anybody has a hand that want to take a risk, feel vulnerable, and remember, it's the yucky stuff that you might be feeling right now. Remember, there's love on the other side of that yucky stuff.
If you want to share, you're welcome to turn on your video. You can raise your hand like this, or you can use your reaction buttons and raise your hand using the reaction button. And I'll help Regina see that you've got a comment to make. And while we're waiting, Regina, I just want to say, wow. If individuals haven't seen it, you might want to save the chat. I tried to capture a bunch of the wonderful nuggets that you've shared with us this evening. So they are in the chat and available. It's a quiet group this evening.
Yeah, I guess vulnerability is kind of like a squirmy little conversation.
I like that, a squirmy little conversation. Rev
Okay.
Deb, I see you've got your video going.
I was trying to sit here and, be in this place, but something just kept resonating for me to share this. And it goes back to 2006 when my mom made her transition. And I was on active duty and I realized that I was flying between California and DC for almost a year. And so when she made her transition, I was there. And after I dealt with the situation with the house and everything that needed to happen, I flew back to California and I went right back into work. And it wasn't until we were having this conversation that I realized that I did not really grieve my mother or her transition. And so, and I don't know why this is coming up now, but I'm going with this. But I realized that at the time it was really kind of challenging for me to really grieve her or her when she made her transition. And I guess a lot of it was because she never raised me, but I was always there, around her for the most part. And so after a period of time of feeling that grief, what it has allowed me to do was really to connect with her, because I have given myself that time to feel the grief of her transition and her not being here, but I know that she's around me. But it has allowed me to really honor her and have compassion for her and the life that she lived and how she was raised and whatever our differences were growing up. So that has allowed me to really connect with that grief space within me, with
Mhm.
her. So thank you for, Regina, thank you for bringing this to us tonight.
Mm,
And I appreciate that. And I'm
Thank you.
complete.
You're so welcome. My exploration of grief has been quite a journey indeed, because as I said, I never cried as a kid. I just was never safe. And grief is, I have such a profound reverence for the experience of grief. And I entered into it about 3 years ago. It's such a deep way, just kind of cleaned out my insides when my son moved to New York. Mostly because he was a direct connection for me in a very profound way to love. Because when I was around him, I was so much in a state of unconditional love, and my heart expanded. So when he went to New York, I descended into such a profound state of grief that would not stop for about 3 weeks. And it was so necessary to go through this, to get such a raw feeling of what love is inside of me. Because in some ways, the expression is, he cleaned my clock when he moved to New York, which was very liberating too, because I was no longer dependent on his presence to feel unconditional love. This whole journey of love has been just so rich and many levels, and just so many textures and so many openings, and the flow is always available in even more of a rush than I even imagined. So it cleaned my inside so I could feel almost the bones of my sternum in my rib cage. And it was unforgettable. And now I know for sure that when we grieve, we are absolutely moving into such profound states of love for ourselves. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful, sacred time that we can give ourselves if we're willing to go there. So thank you for bringing that up. It is, it's all about love, all about going deeper, all about riding the rapids, and sometimes those rapids are rushes. And that's okay. That's really okay, because I believe that's what we're here for, to feel. We're here to land in our body and feel life. And life is very rich with many, many beautiful sensations and vibrations. And we're here to capture and ride those waves of every single one. And that's what makes life worth living, is to just ride those rapids and be in our life, be in our life, not observing it, not talking about it, not analyzing it, and all of that stuff. And sometimes that's fun too. That is cocktail party talk as far as I'm concerned. And I love it. And it's going out with the girl time and talking and chatting and just analyzing and sharing. I'm not saying that's bad or wrong, of course not. But it's not just all that we're here for, I believe. So anyhow, I keep butting in and usurping the time, and I'm sorry. I would really love to hear if anybody else wants to share. No hands up. I guess it does take courage to be vulnerable. Okay.
Yes, it does. And we appreciate your vulnerability. And I'm seeing Dr. Judith's hand. Dr. Judith.
Hi. I found for many years, I had a tug of war between anger and grieving. And because my mom was 61 when she passed away, and I was 21. And I thought it was wrong to be feeling this, but I was mad. I was mad that she left. I was actually called the baby of the family. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. And I've told this before that I had come back to California with my husband. We recently got married, and then we were there. My mom was in the hospital to see if she could have heart surgery. And we moved into a new room. We found her a place to live. And I had a dream. So the tug of war came because she, she came over the ethers and told me, it was like a telephone conversation. And she said, I have to leave you. I can't be your mother anymore. And I didn't know that she had had a heart attack. She was in the hospital. And I didn't know anything was happening, but she knew. And she came to tell me, and I argued. I said, no, you can't. And on this weird phone call. And the next day we found, but because of the way I didn't get to be with her, although I had seen her not that long, but anyway, it became a tug of war. So it's kind of having to see what is the hardest emotion to feel, and it is grieving. And I go back and forth between, or I did for many years, back and forth between grieving and being mad. I'm 77, and I haven't, it's still there somewhere if I dig very deep. But that tug of war brought me to love. It did bring me to love. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Judith.
Well, thank you. This is very powerful, Regina. Very much so. Thank you. Yeah.
I appreciate your hearing and receiving this message.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is a very potent, powerful, profound, and softening experience.
Yeah.
Softening. Yeah.
I like that word. I think that what happened was I had a blending. Things began to blend, and that allowed the softening. And yeah. Thank you.
I understand, Judith, because with anger being my predominant, what I led with as a child,
Yeah.
'cause I just didn't, the situation was so difficult that everything else I had to unwind the anger to get to the next one, unwind the anger to get to the next one, unwind the anger to get to the next one. And anger always kept me in control, so I wouldn't get to the next one and the next one. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, when my son went to New York, I was infuriated with him. But he never knew. He, of course, never knew. I would never do that.
Right.
But the grief was so immense, and the loss of him in my day-to-day. But now it's an incredible relationship because I don't need his presence to feel love. I just love him so much. And my heart just pops open with the mere thought of him at times.
Yeah.
But it's not because that I need him to access unconditional love. He is himself. I am me with my self-love. And anyhow, I don't need to extend this and preached. I'm gonna get off the pulpit and let this thing complete itself. But it's a very passionate topic for me. It's been my life's work, and to just simplify it was challenging because there's many directions to take this.
Yeah.
Maureen.
Hi, Regina.
Hi.
You did a fabulous job. I really enjoyed your talk. It was very deep, to me, I felt like I was going to the next level of consciousness when I was listening to you. So thank you for bringing that perspective in. And I am going to be chewing on what you shared. So thank you.
You're so welcome, Maureen. Thank you for receiving.
All right,
That's
Regina
the best a
and
girl can ask
everyone.
for.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please give Regina some love. Let her know that you have received what she has said and enjoyed it very much. I am going to ask that we move ahead into the
Please, yes.
announcements, and then I'll be bringing you back, Regina, for our closing prayer.
Okay, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, Sally.
Thanks, Regina. All right, so Peter, if you can get our slides up and ready. We just have a few, so I should be able to get them within the time zone here. All right. So we are up and ready. Next Sunday is April 16th, and Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman will be speaking on letting go and letting in. Meditation is at 10 a.m. and the service starts at 10:30 a.m. in the sanctuary and will be broadcast on YouTube. Next Wednesday is April 19th, and practitioner and ministerial student Elena Hutchinson will follow up from Sunday and continue the discussion on letting go and letting in. Meditation on Zoom begins at 6:30 and the service is at 7. And again, that's by Zoom. Earth Day is coming up on April 22nd, and the loving stewards of Mother Earth Ministry are inviting you to join them this coming Saturday, April 15th, with a rain date of April 22nd from 10 to 12 at Arrowhead Marsh Garrison staging area. They're going to be doing cleanup, some bird watching, and just enjoying fellowship with each other and nature. Please check the Village News and the events page for more details. The bookstore is filled with new merchandise that you should really go and check out. For April, the bookstore is featuring the book, The Power of Vulnerability, which Regina referenced tonight, I believe, by Brene Brown. For the celebration of Earth Day, all gemstones and Tree of Life merchandise are 30% off. Next, are you spring cleaning? Well, if you are, please donate your used spiritual exploration and personal growth books to the bookstore. They will be put in the bookstore library or the make an offer cart to share with others in the community. Donation receipts are available upon request. Mark your calendars. Coming up on Friday, April 28th at 7 p.m., the Diversity Circle continues the discussion started in February of the 4 Pivots by Dr. Sean Ginwright. This discussion will be facilitated by practitioner Carmen West Jefferson, Deborah Jackson, and Crystal Fry. It is a Zoom event and love offering is very appreciated. And as always, for information on all that's going on at your Oakland Center, visit our website, www.oaklandcsl.org, and sign up for our weekly newsletter, the Thursday Village News. And then you can also remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook for special updates and content that you'll only find by liking and subscribing to OCSL. And when you do, you might want to send a shout out to our contact team here that you're seeing on the slide. These are the individuals that you can reach out to directly. Their information is on the website. All right, that is all of our announcements for this evening. And now we get to move into our giving time. This is our time to participate in the law of circulation by giving and receiving. So let's do our affirmation this evening. This gift I
Which
give
I give.
is God in action. It does good work in the world and blesses creation. Now, there are 5 ways to give via the donate icon on our website: credit card, mail, Zelle, text, or the offering basket at Sunday service. So this has been a very rich evening, one that I'm sure is going to be working us in our own rivers of love and life through the evening, all through next week. So I want to thank Regina for our meditation and for being our speaker this evening. This is a deep topic, canyons and cracks, and you certainly brought it home this evening. I also want to thank our Zoom team, Peter Gum and Alice Herndon. They're the guys in the guys and gal in the background who are keeping things running for us. And I also want to thank Constance for giving us the announcements, and Reverend Sunshine Michelle for hosting all of this as our senior minister. So thank you, everyone. And Regina, will you please close us out in prayer?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sally, for your support and your kindness and your generosity. I really appreciate it.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate you a lot. So as we close out the evening, feeling spirit. We are spirit. There is no separation. Spirit infuses us. We are one. We are love. Spirit is love. As we drop into our bodies, we notice and we feel it. We pause. We feel and we expand. We expand into love. We are love. It is the infinite presence that moves easily through us, radiating, percolating, invigorating every single cell of our body. As spirit is indeed life-giving, it is a vital force that flows through us. We are the river. We are the river, and that river moves through us. We just tune in and say, yes, I am here. I am here in my center. I am on the inside. And I feel the brilliance and the vibration, the bliss, the softening, the availability, the openness. And from that, harmony and calm moves through me. And I have such great gratitude for everybody that has shown up tonight, that has received my words, my presence, my offerings, hopefully to inspire and to deepen into the beautiful, beautiful experience of love, committing to live on the inside as much as possible, honoring our humanity and having total compassion for when we move off and we come back in and we say, yes, yes, I am here. I am here with you, and it is okay. Life is good, and it feels good, and I keep returning. I just rejoice. I let go. and I let God. And thank you so much for coming and hearing and being present and supporting me this evening. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is.